Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender, Melinda Johnson. Freedom First Properties is in the house. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, easy for me to say, comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And of course, celebrations of the day. I'm looking at this thing and you got to wonder about it. National Red Mitten Day. Yeah, that sounds pretty boring. I'm not going to go to that one. Now, we could go with this one, National Stuffing Day. That might be decent, but quiet, guys. Maybe a little National Gingerbread Cookie Day. That one we can go with. We'll stick with that. Sounds like put a little frosting on top of that, decorate them nicely. That'll work. We can go with that. Checking out the markets this morning. Volatility. I told you yesterday we're going to see a lot of volatility in the markets. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 180 points right now. Don't worry about it. Oil down 32 cents a barrel. We've talked about why these things are happening, why they'll continue to happen. U.S. 10-year Treasury 2.36 is the yield on that 10-year Treasury right now. It's about down 1 basis point, not enough to talk about. The 30-year, the Fannie Mae 30-year, that one there, the bonds are up a little bit, not enough to talk about. That means the rates are down a little bit. Don't worry about that one because it's not going to hold either. All of these things, we talk about them on a regular basis. They don't hold when you're in a holiday week, and as closer you get to the holiday, the less reality there is. The markets, there's not a lot of activity in the markets. So you see a lot of volatility. When there's not a lot of buyers there, you're going to get bigger volatility swings. It's the way it works. Unfortunately, though, we can look and see what's going on in gas prices, and that one you're going to have to pay that. Sorry, here in California, it's going to be the worst. We're going to continue our nationwide leadership here. Although I did see there might be another state might have overtaken us. Figure this out. AAA rate, $2.53.4 is the national average price of a gallon of gasoline. If you need to fill up, though, I'm going to recommend highly that you go to Alabama, $2.24.8. And in California, we are at $3.20.4 per gallon of gasoline. Yeah, they like to spend that money, so we get to pay for it. That's just the way it works. But hey, you know something? At least we've got what we wanted. I share that on a regular basis. We got what we wanted in California. We like high taxes. I know that we like high taxes because we keep voting for all the people that continue to put them in there. If we didn't want high taxes, we can get rid of them. It's not a hard thing to do. We just get rid of some of these people that we continually elect into office to do this to us. I guess I should say, I got to watch how I say that. But that's just the way it is. We are looking, though, a lot of numbers here for us this morning. Nearly 4 million Southern California residents are expected to travel over the Thanksgiving weekend. 3.87 million residents expected to get away for the long weekend, a 3.6% increase over last year's 3.74 million. 86% of local travelers, 3.3 million, will be going by car to their destinations. That's a 3.5% increase over last year. I guess they want to get out of California. they're going to gas up when they get to the border, I'm sure. I should look at that. I didn't even think about that. But if you're going out of state, figure this one, $3.20 a gallon of gas in California. If you're going to Nevada, $2.73.1. $2.40 a gallon in Arizona. Guess you know which direction to go. Guess you know which is a red state and which is a blue state, don't you? Just throwing that out there just to share a little more information. 429,000 Southern Californians are expected to leave by air, a 5.4% increase. Number 2 destination in the country for travel. Anaheim, California, the Disneyland Resort. Number 2, 6.26 million are projected to travel over the Thanksgiving holiday. That's a national number. A lot more numbers here, but I'm getting bored by them. How about you? Let's move on. The number 1 destination for travel this Thanksgiving holiday. Are you ready for it? I guess I should find my friends at somewhere. We've got them in here. There we are. Are you ready? Number 1, we told Orlando, Florida. New York City's number 3, Honolulu, Hawaii, number 4, Las Vegas, number 5. I don't know where this one is. Punta Cana, Dominican Republic is number 6. Cancun, 7. San Francisco's number 8. You're not going to drive there either. Maui, number 9. I think I'd throw that one up near the top. Fort Lauderdale, Florida rounds out the list of the top 10 destinations for travel this holiday, for Thanksgiving. Stay off the freeways. I don't think you're going to enjoy being there if you're thinking about driving. I already saw 3 Siegel alerts on the freeways this morning, so be careful out there. We want you listening next week, too. Just personal observation. Moving right along. Let's see if we can find some more numbers for you that you might enjoy hearing in the news right now. If you're an investor in stocks, and I told you yesterday, don't listen to CNBC, especially Diana Olick. She's going to give you all kinds of bad information. She always gives bad information, especially when it comes to real estate. So let's look at the S&P 500 because it's up a lot this year. S&P 500 up 17.3% year to date. Very, very significant number. Now think about this concept, 17.3% year to date. The average, and I could look it up for you, it's right around 10% is what we've seen Orange County real estate up. We're about 5%, a little under 5% on a national basis for real estate. And Miss Olick says, well, you'd rather be in S&P than in real estate. Now, she has a problem with math, I think. That's where the issue is. And she's on a financial channel, so obviously they haven't vetted her very well. Of course, it is an NBC product, so we know where that goes. But think about this concept. The S&P 500 up 17.3% year to date. Let's just round off real estate and say it's only 5%, which we know it's higher. But think about this concept of leverage. Now, real estate, nobody or very few people, and I could tell you the answer to that part too, 20% of the people pay cash for their real estate. That's the latest numbers that we've seen. 20% are paying cash. So that means obviously 80% are not. And because I'm a simple guy, I use a number of, let's say put 20% down. I used 10% yesterday. But let's use 20% down. That means that 5% appreciation is the same as 25% return on your cash investment because of leverage. Now, would you rather have a 25% return or 17.3? You tell me what number makes more sense. According to Miss Olick, she wants the 17.3. So that's why I say you got to be careful of what you're listening to, what they're telling you, because they're giving you bum information. That they do that all the time. So think about that concept. Looking at what the markets are doing today, we did have to get a little bit of housing news. Think about this. When existing home sales up 2% in October at a 5.48 unit annualized pace. The expectations were 2.374 million. Inventory levels, the real story, remained very tight. 1.8 million homes for sale, down 10.4% year over year. Are you ready for this? That's a 3.9 month supply, the lowest on record. So it really talks about the strength in the housing market. Even with much lower levels of inventory, sales rose 2% from last month. Median home prices, again, national number, up 5.5% year over year at $247,000. Obviously, we are in Taxifornia, triple that number. All cash buyers made up 20% of sales. First-time home buyers. Now, if you're thinking about buying and you thought you missed it, well, there's more first-time home buyers in the market, up from 29% to 32% is the number on first-time home buyers. So we're still got a lot of young people that are realizing, maybe not young people, maybe first-time home buyers could be old people too, like me. But that's the concept, is people are realizing that OLEC is giving out bad information, that they can get good information by going out and buying real estate. That's that forced savings plan. And I shared with you yesterday, if you missed it, go back and listen to the broadcast, a $600,000 home purchase versus a $2,850 rent, and you come out $337,000 ahead in 9 years. Now, if you didn't catch all those numbers, I can share them with you, but they are all described in depth on yesterday's broadcast. Hopefully you didn't miss it, but if you did, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel the numeral 1 on YouTube, it's there. And we'll get into more broadcasting information for you. Listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, access is an important factor in getting your house sold. We're going to talk about that. 6 top details about the new Uber credit card and how to host Thanksgiving without going over budget. We're going to talk about all that and more. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment today. Being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Put in your number of bedrooms you want, bathrooms you want, price range, location, and you're going to get a text message every time something comes up that is in the area that you want. Whoa, holy cow there. A little backwards noise. Got to love that one. So you're going to get a text message every time a property comes on the market that fits your description. Think about that concept, Nest. And then send an email, nest@ronsiegelradio.com, nest@ronsiegelradio.com, and you're going to be able to get a text message every time a house sells in your existing neighborhood. You just have to tell our team what your address is, and they'll get that to you for free. Again, text, or that would be an email, nest@ronsiegelradio.com. Give us your email address, and you're going to get that information texted to you right away. Think about that concept. A lot of people like to be that stalker and get that information. Access is an important factor in getting your house sold, according to a current report. If you decided to sell your house, I don't know anybody, and we'll ask Melinda Johnson this in a minute, but I don't know anybody that wants to have their house listed for sale. Most people want it just sold, right? If you can skip that middle step, you're probably happier. That's why you hire a real estate professional to help you with the entire process. And they ask you what level of access you want to provide to potential buyers. There are 4 elements to a quality listing, and at the top of the list is access, followed by condition, financing, and price. There are many levels of access that you can provide to your agent so that he or she can show your home. So here are 5 levels of access that you can give to buyers along with a brief description. A lockbox on the door allows buyers the ability to see the home as soon as they are aware of the listing or at their convenience. Providing a key to the home. Although the buyer's agent may need to stop by an office to pick up the key, there is little delay in being able to show that home. Open access with a phone call. The seller allows showings with just a phone call's notice and by appointment only, like 48 hours. Many buyers who are relocating for a new career or promotion start working in that area prior to purchasing their home. They often like to take advantage of free time during business hours, such as lunch breaks, to view potential homes. Number 5, limited access. The home is only available Mondays or Tuesdays, 5th week of the month at 2 p.m. or for a couple hours a day. Think you're going to get your house sold like that? That's the real-time real estate segment. We're gonna chat with Melinda Johnson about this one. But I go back. I've talked about this before, Melinda, and I chat about the time when you and I actually went with a client to see a property, and we're right across the street calling, and the agent says, "Well, you can't see that house."
Yes.
Right? I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense that you have somebody in the car, they want to see a house, they're out shopping, want to buy, and no, you can't see that one.
Right.
Right,
Yes.
2 hours. So what do you come across in this area? Most people that are listed at this time of year, I mean, you've got all the things going on, the holidays and parties. Are people open to letting their houses be seen?
They are, but it's definitely a little bit more difficult this time of year with, people just don't feel prepared. They may be cooking, they may be prepping, they may be wrapping, that type of thing.
Is there a benefit? I mean, if I was going out shopping for a house and they're cooking, boy, I'd ask for a plate.
Right, yeah, or at least just a little sample.
Right, quality control.
Right, and it'll smell warm and wonderful. And
well, that's a big issue because there is a benefit. I think if the house smells better, I mean, wouldn't people like that?
yeah, it's one of the little tricks of the trades. Either bake cookies or throw a little vanilla on a baking sheet and stick it in the oven is one of the little tricks. But if you're really doing it, how much better is that?
Yeah, especially if there's some cooling right there on the counter.
Right,
and
those gingerbread cookies that you were talking about earlier.
So, is it? Are people actually looking at this time of year? Have they all shut off?
No, they're absolutely looking. And the advantage to a seller at this time of year is that the buyers who are looking tend to be very serious. We have some of them ourselves. They've closed escrow and they are diligently looking. So if they're going to look through Thanksgiving and the holidays, then they're serious.
So let's chat. I mean, I've been talking a lot on the air about the new tax plan, and I'm not going to throw that at you, but I want to...
Don't quiz me.
No, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and we try to get the right information. And more importantly than getting the right information, we want to just give people the resources to go and find it yourself. Don't listen to anybody, even me. Right? I mean, I'm going to tell you the right information as I understand it, but I'm going to give you the locations. But let's talk about some of the other areas, because a lot of people look at it and they say, maybe I should throw this to you. How many people that you show houses to are out buying houses? Is the primary concern the tax ramifications?
A few, very few to any. I mean, there are a few who come along and they've been told by their CPA or their tax person to go out and purchase, but that would be the vast minority.
Right. So what are some of the more important issues? I mean, because I hear people looking at, they're only looking at their budget, right? So that's the biggest thing is, can I afford it? Because almost everybody would want a nice beach house. There's one I saw the other day. It's $20 million right on the edge of a peninsula in Newport.
I bet I'd like it.
Right. Nobody's going to be upset with that.
Right.
So now let's go back to the idea of, if properties that fit within someone's budget. What are the non-financial things that people are really looking for?
Well, one of the most common ones is to be within a particular school district for their children. So it's to be able to select, what their education level or what their education's going to be like, and to have that continuity. So people who are in houses that they own tend to stay put. I believe there was a Harvard study on that, which seems intuitive naturally,
Sure.
Which makes sense that there's a Harvard study on it. So they tend to stay within that education, within that school district. People who rent tend to move more often, so there's a lack of consistency sometimes there. And, growing up is not an easy time. So dealing with changes and changing schools and changing friends can be socially very difficult for kids.
So the school district is the biggest,
one of the big
one
ones.
of the biggest ones. Is that going to be in the younger, or are you looking at that from preschool to elementary school, or do you see more of that from the elementary to the high school level?
Yeah, I would say really all the way across, from preschool through high school, more being in the younger, but all the way across. And then, the other big reason is for a sense of community. People are looking for particular communities for, being able to have, say, out in the desert, access to certain amenities, access to, certain neighbors, because you have a whole retired segment out there who play golf, who play tennis, who do, may be interested in similar types of activities as the person who's buying out there. So people tend to buy communities, not just an investment, because one way or another, you're paying a mortgage. You're
Sure.
either paying your mortgage or someone else's mortgage. When you're paying your own mortgage, you have more choice and more flexibility in terms of where you land. And
One of the big things that I see right now is you got a big advantage of identifying a sense of community right now. And I'll share a couple of different things. Number one, obviously 3 weeks ago now, you could get a good sense of community because you can, as you're going around at Halloween time, you can see, are the houses decorated, are they not decorated, are the lights on, are they lights off? That kind of gives you an idea as to what the community is like. Right now you can see some neighborhoods, you see where you've got the signs up that are talking about house decorations, and you see who is decorating and who's got a lot of cars in the front. Right, that kind of gives you an idea of whether there's people that are loners, which is fine if that's what you want.
right.
Or if it's going to be a bunch of kids, which is fine. Or if it's there is that sense of community even in a single family residence that's not in the desert areas.
Right.
Do you see that a lot?
Yeah, we do. We do, very much so. It's a big part of people's decisions, whether they're going into, communities that may have certain amenities or, certain activities. People look for those things.
And to me, it's just, how many people are sitting out on the driveway drinking wine?
Or in their backyard.
Well, I can't see in their backyard unless I got a drone, and then I'd get smacked as I'm going and looking around.
But your good agent might know.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so that. You're right. Good shot there. I like that idea. So that, and again, another reason for professional guidance and staying away from. I'm watching on the TV right now all those stupid commercials from the discount online brokers, and I look at that and I say, something. If you're going to be buying, median home, what did I say, it was $250,000 nationwide, triple that in Orange County, California. Is that what you want, is to go to the Walmart of guidance? I don't know too many people that go to say, can I find a discount doctor? Right? I got
my largest financial investment. Yeah,
right.
A discount.
Let's give me a discount doctor. I want to go. I need a new knee, and I want to get it at a discount. It just doesn't make sense. We're going to talk more about this when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio. More than non-financial reasons for home ownership. We'll also talk about some details about the new Uber credit card, how to host Thanksgiving without going over budget. All that and more. You can reach us anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions. Go there, register. You'll get an email once a week with different credit tips. And if you need to have some professional guidance, let me know. Alan Han will help you with that. It costs about $500 is about all it costs for him to take care of getting your credit report corrected in a professional manner. Have you thought about this one? Uber is coming out with a new credit, or has come out with a new credit card, and they've talking about some of the benefits of the new credit card. Number one, no annual fee. Rewards cards, particularly the elite ones, often come with a hefty annual membership fee in exchange for access to all the perks they offer. Think about like the Chase Sapphire card, $450 annual fee. The Uber card joins a group of rewards cards that help you enjoy a variety of benefits without the hefty price. 4% cash back on dining. I like that idea. I wonder if I get 4% cash back on my Uber expenses. Dining rewards are pretty high. Haven't seen that 4%. No foreign transaction fees. Online shipping rewards. Phone protection plan. That's in case you leave your phone in the car. You might need that one. And a points program with great deals. A lot of interesting information right there with the Uber credit card. If you want more information, you want the full report, give me a call, 800-306-1990. That is the Uber credit card, the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. We are continuing our conversation. Non-financial reasons for home ownership. We're chatting with Melinda Johnson, Freedom First Properties this morning. So we talked about the school district. We talked about sense of community. I know one of the other big ones that I hear, and I don't know if it's something that you find with a lot of your clients, Melinda, is security.
Yes.
You know, people find that they've got a sense of security if they own their own home.
Yes. In fact, there was a NAR study that looked at that and found that that sense of security tended to lend itself towards owners who were not only psychologically healthier, but were actually physically healthier.
Really?
It's interesting, yes. Done by the National Association of Realtors.
That's interesting how you could be physically healthier because of that. But of course, we hear in so many areas that one of the biggest causes of almost every major illness is stress.
Right. If you think about it the opposite way, if there's a sense of instability, then that can lead to stress, which can lead to being less healthy.
Interesting. And what about upgrades, being the ability to upgrade property? Do you hear that one at all?
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes it's even the simplest of things. You know, there's people that we've taken out who've been renters for many years, and they're just excited to paint the walls in their own color, in their own shade, you know, just to kind of make their own little mark. The American dream gives you the freedom for little things like that. Interesting.
You wouldn't think about that part of it, just the idea of being able to
pick your shade.
Pick your shade. Yeah, interesting. Pets?
Yes, the freedom to have pets. So you can, you know, subject to some association rules or, you know, local guidelines in terms of numbers, you get to pick your pets, and there's no pet deposit.
No pet deposit. And well, obviously we know that the rent's not going to go up.
Right. Yeah, you pick your rent, and you can pick it for the next 30 years if you want.
Exactly. So have we missed any of the ones that you hear most often?
I think that, sense of privacy is another one.
Okay.
Because whenever you're in a rental situation, the landlord's coming over, and you think, okay, they got to give you 24 hours notice. Well, not always. You know, that plumbing goes out in the middle of the night, or, you know, something happens, and that landlord needs to come into the house and has the right to come into the house. It's never quite yours. There's never quite that same sense of privacy.
So you brought up an interesting part of it as far as upgrades and maintenance. Is that an issue that you see that people are or maybe a misconception even about taking care of maintaining properties?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes people will say, well, you know, I don't want to have to fix the water heater if it goes out. I don't want to pay for that. And I tell them, you're already paying for that.
How so?
That's built into the rent that you're typically paying. So particularly here in California, how the numbers work out, you're paying for that water heater to be replaced by the plumber through your rent.
Interesting. Okay, so then I'm also paying for them to pick the colors of the walls.
Yes.
When they do, if they do that kind of work and come in. The other are, you were talking about the sense of security, stability, right? I mean, you don't ever know what the landlord's plans are.
Right. Yeah, we get plenty of calls. I got to find a place. My landlord told me they're putting the house on the market, or we're in escrow, and now we got to move. So your major moves are not necessarily up to you. When you own a house, for the most part, you can pick if you want to move, if you ever want to move. But when you're a tenant, that's not entirely up to you.
A lot of interesting, different thoughts there. So what are the reasons that you see people, other than some of the that we've seen through 2008, 2009, where we've had a lot of the economic issues? Are there any good reasons that you come up with that you hear people talking about for renting?
Yeah, it's for renting. Oh, sorry, you just threw me for a loop. I was going to give you arguments for not renting. No, actually. You pay money no matter what.
You have to pay for housing.
Right, you have to pay for
Unless
housing.
You want to live over on the riverbed.
Right, so even if, you've quote-unquote lost your house, let's sit down and do the math in a lot of cases in terms of what you put down and what you ended up paying for that house, and compare that to what that would have rented for a similar period of time. And I think that can be encouraging, not to take away from the psychological devastation that's involved in, having the financial crisis of losing your house. But I don't think it's nearly what you think it is, because you got to pay one way or another.
So if that's the case, let's go to the flip side then, and I'll go back to what you were actually thinking, being that I can read your mind now. The other reasons for buying.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the economic backstop that's in place when you're actually an owner. So when you're an owner, we have things like the federally supported Keep Your Home in California. So let's say you lose your job. If you're a renter, guess what? The landlord's going to give you a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit the premises. So you're going to have all of 72 hours to kind of get this thing figured out before you commence eviction proceedings. If you're in a own situation, you can go up to Keep Your Home in California, and they will pay months and months and months of your mortgage in order to help you stay on your feet. So because there's federal programs in place to support home ownership, it's a lot less risky if you lose your job to be an owner than it is to be a renter.
That sounds almost counterintuitive, right? So many people think that if I lose my job, if I lose my financial way, that renting is going to be the better solution because I've got more flexibility.
No, there's no keep your rental in California. It just doesn't exist.
It's the only thing in California.
Give California time, though. They might.
I was going to say that California, they might have that on the drawing board somewhere.
Wait for 2018.
Interesting. So there's a lot of very few reasons that we can think of that are good for renting.
Right.
But why do the investors want to? Are they there? Is it because supply and demand? Or ignorant renters?
Why are there landlords there?
Why is it such? Why? I mean, we talk about the idea that the owning real estate as an investment is a good deal, yet renting is not. So isn't there a battle there?
Well, there is. I think if you at least in the population that I'm exposed to, most people do want to own. The problem is often a misconception with ability to own and what it takes to own, with what down payments are, with how difficult it can be. There's a lot of misconception out there, and the cost of it. So people often think that renting is a cheaper option.
So what are some of the myths that you're coming across as far as with ownership?
The biggest one is the down payment. People have stuck in their head that they need 20% down.
Interesting. Boy, and that didn't even take you very long to even think about that one. It wasn't even a question mark.
Yeah, it's just a common one. I just can't save up 20%. Well, with the prices here in California, that's a lot of people's concern.
Right.
But the good news is there's products out there, and I'm by no means a lone person, and I never want to be one when I grow up. But there are plenty of products out there that are not 20%.
That one just fascinates me, is where that myth comes from, right? Because you think about, obviously it's going to be very difficult, and there's not a lot of down payment assistance programs for a median priced home in Orange County at $774,000.
Right.
But there's a lot of there's a lot of homes out there that are cheaper than $774,000 in Orange County.
Correct.
So what is a starter home? What does somebody have to, if you're really looking for the no frills, let's compare this to my 2 or 3 bedroom apartment. What do I have to spend for that?
So you can get that depending on where you are in Orange County for say 3 to low 400,000s.
300 to the low 400s.
Yeah, so 300 is a nice easy number because I don't do a lot of math.
Okay.
So, if you do, like, say, an FHA program, you're only looking at 3.5% of 300,000, and you can get help with closing costs if your agent structures that into the transaction, which really the math doesn't end up being that different than putting down 1 month's security deposit. And I mean, it is a little bit more, but it's not a lot more than, say, a security deposit, a pet deposit, first month's rent. You're not far off.
So it's not a huge amount, because you're looking. I'm just doing it off the top of my head. That's about $10,500 roughly.
Yeah.
And again, you got to have a great real estate person helping you structure that, so you don't have to, because there are closing costs, and they have to be accounted for, but they don't have to necessarily be paid.
Right.
Right.
And those can be structured multiple ways. With your lender can help with structuring those. The seller can help with covering some of those. So there's different methods for covering your closing costs.
So I spent some time last week at an open house, and we were talking about the idea of how many agents there are, especially in Orange County. We've got 19,000 real estate agents licensed, at least, and how few of them really understand the contracts, the structuring. When we come back, we want to chat a little bit about that part of it and see how we can maybe help some people, to give them some ideas. And then obviously you got to get the right guidance. So we're going to talk about all of that when we come back. We'll also talk about how to host a Thanksgiving without going over budget. All that and more. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay's available, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1, on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send
find you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Word on Wealth segment today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star is the only one that I know of that has the fast pass loan approval. Yeah, it's going to let your agent go out there and make an offer, no loan contingencies. That we've seen already has saved people. I saw one as much as $50,000 they were able to save. Is that the only reason they saved the money? Probably not, but it sure makes your offer a lot stronger when your real estate professional presents an offer with no loan contingencies. How to host Thanksgiving without going over budget is our subject today. Fascinating information. Number one, start early. Don't overwhelm yourself by shopping for Thanksgiving at the last minute. Too late for that one right now. I heard somebody say yesterday at the Costco here in North Orange County, 250 people in line when they first opened the door yesterday. Doesn't sound like fun. But that could throw off your budget, not to mention the store will be hectic. There's a good chance popular Thanksgiving foods and ingredients will be marked up if you shop right before the holiday. Who's going to be open Thursday morning? It's not going to be the low price leader. Costco, I think, is closed all day Thursday, so think about that concept. Ask for help. Food can be expensive, and food prices have gone up in recent years. You're hosting Thanksgiving. Don't be afraid to ask your attendees to help out. I'll bring the wine. Ask friends and family to bring specific items so that you can save both time and money and also avoid some stress. Limit the number of dishes. Not blank plates. I'm talking about the items that you're serving. That's another area where you can save on some money. Rethink the decor. Your home decor can provide a nice atmosphere for your Thanksgiving dinner. You want your table to look the part, but at what price? Holiday decorations can be expensive and can take away from other areas of your Thanksgiving budget. Try to get crafty with your decoration. Find things like fall leaves, hay, I'm not even going to go there. There's a lot of different ways. If you want the whole report, give me a call, 800-306-1990. That is the Word on Wealth segment, again, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage, the only home of the Fast Pass loan approval. So before the break, we were chatting with Melinda Johnson about structuring a deal, a real estate transaction, to minimize the out-of-pocket expenses. There's a lot of ways of doing this, but and we're not going to get into all of the fine weeds of how to do it. What we want to really chat about is we want to give you some ideas of what can be done. See, one of the things is I don't like to give out the how-to. Real simple, because you can get in trouble by doing that. You go out there, it's like if somebody told me how to do a knee replacement that I need, and I was dumb enough, which I might be, dumb enough to try it, I might not get good results. So we're going to talk about some of the ideas that are there, but we're not going to tell you the how-to. I want you to give me a call at 800-306-1990 so I can put you in touch with a great real estate professional. Melinda Johnson does that for scores of people, helping them to do these type of things. So Melinda, let's chat about this. An FHA loan.
Uh-huh.
So, and I'm not going to throw you the loan questions. I'll take care of those part of it.
Please don't.
We know that we need 3.5% down. We know that we need an appraisal. Mm-hmm. But other than that, the buyer only has to come in with 0.5% of their own money.
Correct.
Are there other places that you can get that money?
Absolutely. One of the least expensive places to get that money is a gift from family members. So if you're blessed enough to have that, that's the number one source.
Right. So you can get a family gift to help there. We know that the seller, if you're getting a good deal on the property, if you got the fast pass, you might save $10,000 to $50,000 there on the purchase price.
Particularly in a low inventory. So that's a fantastic product.
Right. So now, what can we do with that money? Can we possibly get the seller to pay maybe some of the closing costs?
Absolutely. So your agent should know where the market is, should be able to structure the transaction so that no matter what kind of market we're in, you can have the benefit of seller paid closing costs.
What about increasing the biggest question that I get leading a lending team, what's your interest rate? And I look at it and I say, okay, what's the difference? Does it matter?
Right.
Because what the goal is to minimize your expenses, but get your house.
Right.
Right. At the end of the day, what you really want is a house. You don't want a payment. You don't want a listing. You don't want a negotiation. You want a house or a condo or whatever, a dwelling.
Right.
So can we increase the interest rate to have minimize closing costs?
Absolutely. So your a good lender who knows how to structure as well, can partner with your real estate agent and be able to figure out what that best scenario is. So you can make adjustments to your interest rate, and so your payment goes up at a fraction, which is really much less than people think, and you don't have to come up or delay the time to purchase in order to save up all those closing costs.
So there's an interesting concept right there, because you hit two different issues that I want to kind of touch on. Number one, you want to have a partnership between your trusted professionals.
Absolutely.
Right? Real estate, lender, insurance. You're going to be dealing with escrow, title. All those different players are part of the transaction.
Right.
Home inspector. I mean, I'm sure there's more of them. When you go to those discount brokers, you don't get all those things.
Correct.
Right? They're basically a no frills. It's like going to Walmart. Don't ask them to help you try something on.
Right. Or find a particular size, or
Right? So it's a big issue there. Now let's look at, we've been talking a lot about the non-financial, but let's look at the financial issue. You bought 300, and I didn't look up the numbers because I didn't even know we were going to go here. Right? So we have a $300,000 house, and I'm going to use the Freddie Mac rate from last week, 3.95% interest rate, because I don't want to get into APRs and all that kind of stuff. If we say, okay, let's do a 4.95% interest, and people start grabbing their head and saying that the world's coming to an end because we're at 4.95, right? And you can get say $5,000. I'm just throwing numbers out: $5,000 or $10,000 toward your deal, toward your closing costs. So now your payment's gone up, maybe what, $30, $40?
Right.
So would you trade $10,000 for $30 a month?
Right. And look at what savings you have. You're going to have a pay down of a mortgage over the course of that next 12 months. And if California continues to appreciate as they expect, you get a 5% return on the entire value of the home. So those closing costs are actually free, even at that 1% increase in interest rate. If you look at the appreciation, it's going to exceed that number. So
again, I'm just doing simple math here, and we're looking at, if we get a 5% appreciation on a $300,000 house, it's $15,000 in appreciation.
When you only borrowed $5, really,
right.
for the closing costs.
Exactly.
So let's see.
Right, and we pay an extra, even if we call it $50 a month for 6 months, because on an FHA loan you can refinance after 6 months. Right, so you've got $50 a month for 6 months, so we're trading, what did I say, $10,000 for $300.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Yeah.
Right? And you've got your own house in time for the holidays.
Which is, again, it's something that a lot of people won't know or understand, and I think that's part of what leads to that misconception that it's not possible. It's very possible. You just have to have somebody who understands how those work together, or has the partners to be able to make those pieces work.
And that's the key thing, and one of the keys that I find in chatting with Melinda is a lot of people don't think about this, is, and you've said it like 4 or 5 times this morning already, basically stay in your lane.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
I mean, I've shared with you, there's 19,000 people have real estate licenses in Orange County, California. I would say less than 200 of them are legitimately doing real estate business.
Right.
Right? And how many contracts do you get that you see that are done wrong because somebody just wanted to save money?
Oh, let me count the ways.
right?
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's most of the time, it's somebody's largest financial transaction, and they don't even understand that they're entrusting it to someone who hasn't even written up the initial contract properly.
Which part of that, I wonder a little bit about that. And it's a big battle here because you have both licenses. So you've got a person that spent 90 days getting a real estate license, trying to give guidance on a legal document and a contract that, a lawyer drew it up that spends, 10 years going to law school or whatever.
Right. That's a whole different subject and a whole different show that you should host.
And so we're going to do that. We're talking about the different how many areas of bad guidance people are getting in real estate, and it's a shame that happens. And unfortunately, there's not enough of a battle between the Bar Association and the California Association of Realtors.
Yeah.
Right, you need that battle there because a lot of people are getting bad guidance in a large contract. What other contract can we go and do and have somebody that has 90 days worth of experience give us guidance?
Right.
Right? I mean, you could go to jail for doing that kind of thing, but we digress. If you want information on how to buy a new house with very minimal amount of money down, give me a call, 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with Melinda Johnson. I'm sure that she and her team can help you with that, and be sure to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun, have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.